At the time of recording this, Project Motor Racing is releasing in just a week and some change. But there has been some new multiplayer information that was just released today. What's going on, everybody? It's Magnus. Today, we're going to be diving into what the devs had to say about the multiplayer and some new cars that were revealed over the weekend. Let's get right into it. Now, just for a disclaimer, some of the news I have covered in my previous video, but just because each video could be somebody's first, I'll go over it again, such as the crossplay situation. This game is full crossplay at release, so you can play with your friends on whichever platform they're on. Now, let's get into the races. There are two types of races in this game. There's the social races, which are more casual, which are more accessible. You don't really have to worry about rank or like your DR or SR going down. It's literally just for fun. You can have 24-hour/7 playlists such as the Nürburgring Nordschleife, or just any wacky combo that comes to mind for the devs. They could just put in here. Now you have your other races, your ranked races, which are organized, competitive, where you're matched against people of similar rank to you, right? Per class. We need to establish that per class, right? So there are 13 classes at launch, 14 if you pre-ordered to get the GTE stuff. So there's that. So here's a breakdown of how it works. You register for the race before the countdown ends. Get placed into a lobby with similar skilled drivers. Splits if there are more entries than the grid allows. You run a qualifying event before the race. Now, to me personally, and we'll talk about this more at the end, but to me, that is great. It fits the way I'm thinking that it's going to be. What I'm thinking is you will run a live qualifying like in real racing instead of the qualifying time trials that you have in GT7. And like I said, again, we'll get to that at the end, but if it's what I'm thinking, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Now, let's talk about the social races, right? These are 15-minute sprint races, right? They frequent every 15 minutes. They're beginner-friendly. You know, it's a great warm-up and for messing with gear just to see like what you like, what you don't like. These are great for warming up your hands. You know, if you're just getting on for the first time, you don't immediately have to go on to ranked. You can, you know, warm up with some casual races. Now for the ranked race. Now let's talk more about the license test. In my previous videos, we found out that there will be a license requirement to race online, especially racing in the ranked mode. Now, also, each class has its own license test. So the general consensus is, from what they've said, is to enter ranked racing, you must complete the Lime Rock license test. 8 laps versus AI at a competitive pace. If you pass, for you to pass, you'll need to finish in or under 8 minutes 20 seconds. It's time gated to make sure it's clean, controlled driving, and non-aggression or luck-based. Obviously, if you fail at this, you could try as many times as you want, and it's a look into what you can expect in online racing. Now, let's talk about championships. Ranked features the medium and high performance cars and real motorsport style formats. 20-minute trophy or spec series races, and up to 60-minute endurance events. Multiple championships per class, such as the GT3 European Series or GT3 North American Series, and it's not region locked, so you can race wherever you want. Based on the class that you choose, races can range anywhere from 20 minutes for spec series and 60 minutes for high-end endurance machinery. This generally simulates the world of sports car racing and the true to life event lengths. Sorry about that. So let's talk about the higher tiers and unlocks. We have the functionality to gate events by a minimum driver rating as well as a minimum win count. At launch, winning a race in any split of the ranked online championship unlocks the ability to participate in Group C and LMDH races. You are rewarded for finally capturing that first checkered flag. This also ensures the most difficult and demanding cars in the sim are driven by those ready for the unique challenges they present. Alright, which is something that I look forward to, which is something I want Gran Turismo to implement sometime in the future. So, but we'll get to my thoughts at the very end. And now we talk about the penalty system and the report system, right? This is such an important note, alright? Anti-griefing note. Extreme behavior will result in instant DQing. We do not suggest driving backwards or cutting large areas of the circuit, as you will immediately be disqualified from your session. Let's go! Now for time penalties, you'll get time penalties for false starts, pit speeding, and track limits. And when they talk about pit speeding, I assume we're going to be able to enter in the pits like we do in every other sim, like Assetto Corsa or Le Mans Ultimate or iRacing. So that's pretty interesting. All right. They also give us a tip. If you go wide or beyond track limits, just lift off the throttle to avoid a penalty. So which is also good. We know this stuff kind of works in Gran Turismo and in LMU, where I've seen people go way beyond track limits, but if they lift off just enough, they won't receive a penalty because all of that time gained would have been lost because obviously you lift off. So which is interesting. I'm glad that they tell us this. Now the reporting system. A protest tool is in place for ranked racing. This tool should be used for intentionally wrecking, cheating, or malicious play, and not for ordinary race incidents. Now, for someone like me or myself, sometimes it's hard to judge whether something was a race incident or if they were trying to do something malicious. So I'm glad that this system is in place. Alright? Our protest system is designed to issue suspensions for major instances of unsportsmanlike or malicious conduct. Players who encounter gamesmanship, griefing, hacking, and woefully destructive play are encouraged to document and report the offending user at the first available opportunity. Yes. Oh my god, thank you. Whew. I'm so glad that they got this. There have been so many times in Gran Turismo 7 where I'd get taken out, brake checked, and what have you, and there'll be no way to report it but to Sony. So I'm glad that they got this system in place. But here are my overall thoughts on this whole article, and I'll leave the article down in the description box so you guys can take a look for yourself if you guys have any other inquiries. Alright, so first off, I think it's amazing that they have both a casual and ranked series. For most sims, I feel like this is missing, like especially the casual social aspect is missing. For example, Gran Turismo has a ranked space called Sport Mode and a regular multiplayer mode. Now, in a regular multiplayer space, that is used to create your own races where other people can join. Think of Battlefield servers, right? You can even run your own leagues. In Sport Mode, that's the only place in the game where matchmaking PvP is happening, and it's a rank-based system. So, being able to just come home from work or come home from whatever activity you're doing and just hop on and just do races for fun, I think that is missing in every single sim or simcade. This is very important to me personally. All right. And back to the qualifying before the race information. If they're actually doing a live qualifying session, like you qualify then you race, like as in the same session and not just a time trial, that's huge, right? That's huge. I mean, obviously LMU and iRace probably like do it, but as far as like the console space is concerned, I don't think there is a game that does that. I know for Gran Turismo 7, you have a qualifying trial where you can spend hours, days, just like nailing the perfect lap and running from the front, And I think having a live quality is a much fairer system because some people just don't want to sit around and qualify like all day. Like some people don't have the time to, some people just choose not to, right? So having a sort of like a 1-shot or 2-shot qualifying time before the race starts, I think it's fair, to be honest with you. Obviously, like the social races, how they happen every 15 minutes and they're short sprint races, I think that's a good thing as well. I wish more sim games will implement that because not everybody wants to try hard. Not everybody is looking to be the next esports driver or something like that, Some people just don't care about ranked and just want to play normally, right? So I wish more games will implement that as well. The license test. I would have thought that each class would have its own license test, and what I mean by that is, let's say you want to drive GT4s, right? And you want to partake in some ranked racing in GT4s. However, you still required to drive a Mazda Miata around Lime Rock. I would have thought they would also have GT4 spec opponents as well, and for you to partake in these license tests with a GT4. I thought that would be the case, but I guess not. Region Lock Championships, I could take it or leave it, I would have thought that they would implement something more like GT World Challenge, where they have GT World Challenge Asia, America, Australia, and Europe. But at the same time, I think it's fine, I'm sort of neutral on the whole thing. So that's something I can take or leave. It doesn't really impact me too much because I'm going to be doing them if I can anyways. The new cars that were revealed were the BMW M Hybrid V8 LMDH, the Nissan R89C, and the Jaguar XJR9. So those cars were also revealed as well. Now here are my final thoughts. Now, all of this sounds great in theory, but only time will tell if they implement it correctly or if at all. I think everything I've heard today was great, but obviously, with all games these days, they come out unfinished and rushed and stuff. So let's just hope they commit to what they're saying. Let's just hope they commit to what they promise. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this information? Are you excited for the game, or are you still cautious about this game? If you guys did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more racing content. As always, take it easy.